Hello, welcome to the Cars and Cancer podcast, episode 15. I've got Darren and Andy with me. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Aid.
Good evening. Where is he? Come on, Andy, where are you? Andy, you're on mute.
Has he gone?
Andy, you're on mute. He's gone. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, yes.
Oh, dear. We've upset him. Okay. Well, I'll pause the recording. Are you there, Andy?
I'm here now.
All right. Is it something we said?
Are you all right? I don't know what happened. It just disappeared. Yeah.
Oh, bless you. I was just doing the good evening, and then you cleared off. So
It wasn't me, Aid. It was my phone.
Man blaming his tools again.
I mean,
You do that, should you, Darren? It's just, you can't blame your tools, can you?
Not really, mate. No, that's not very good. No.
Not at our age, anyway.
Yeah.
So episode 15. We've got a big day on Thursday.
Yeah.
We've got a certain episode of Car SOS, and we've got a certain gentleman, which we talked about in the last episode, Darren, who is going to be the star of the show, aren't you, Darren?
Yes, very, very nervy. Yeah.
Now, you've not seen this, have you? You've not seen the recording, as I understand it. Is that right?
No, they won't. They haven't let it out. We've been in constant chats. Well, my wife has really with emailing with the editor, who's in charge of all the filming on the day, and Elliot sort of letting us know what's happening. And the car was originally put down for episode 5 or 6, and then they viewed it back at something related to Walt Disney, and when it went back they sort of viewed it all and said, no, we want that one on Sky episode 2. So that was great, so he said they really, really liked it. They loved the programme, that series, and they wanted it moving forward to the beginning. So that was a nice thing to find out. It's in there. So it's actually very sort of quiet and little bits being released, but absolutely, I've been so sort of like, oh, we should hurry up. Now it's getting closer. I'm getting quite nervous about the whole thing of like being on kind of national TV, and it's going out there for God knows how many to see. And there's a great guest on the programme as well, starting the programme off, which I think it might have been mentioned. I don't know if it's been mentioned yet, so I best not say.
Okay. What are you talking about?
But yeah, there is going to be someone making an appearance, not in person, but he's making an appearance online. So that's should be quite good for people that know him, and a lot of people do.
Is it Gary Lineker?
Oh, no, definitely not going up. No. Right, okay. Definitely not, mate. Definitely not. Nothing to do with football.
Okay.
Only cars.
Mm-hmm.
When they did the Mondeo, I watched it on Friday. They had Tyson Fury and his dad on there, and he picked a radio up, didn't he?
That was it, yeah. Right. So I think that might be a little bit of a topic they've been trying to tap into, I think. So who might be on the others, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to do that to get some celebrities to kind of make an appearance.
So Tyson Fury, are you saying that they did an episode where he was on the radio?
Yeah. The one I bought a Mondeo radio off eBay.
Yeah.
And he's saying, I don't know where I'm going, I've only got a postcode. And they drove to this house, knocked on the door, and it was Tyson Fury. Yeah. And he goes, I know you from somewhere. He goes, do you? And he goes, oh, you're off the telly, aren't you? And they took he's like, I know him from somewhere. They couldn't say who it was. Quite funny, really. Yeah. So, I think they're going to do that all the way through, aren't they?
Well, I'm wondering that, whether they are, that's what they're going to do. So that'll make it quite good.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought Tyson Fury had a load of Mondeo spares, eh? Who'd have thought, eh?
No.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? Come back, so his head was like hitting the bloody top of his door. It's like a little cottage. And he come up there with just his shorts on, like, You just weren't expecting to see him there with a radio in his hand.
Do you think he's got a little eBay shop going? Yeah. He just strips Mondeos for a living.
Just in case he falls a bit short, you mean?
Yeah, but he's not. He doesn't make a lot from boxing. I mean, I don't think you make much money at all, really, from boxing, do you? No. So he's got a bit on the side where he just, strips down a couple of Mondeos, just gets a few parts, puts it on eBay, and just pays for his pocket money. I think. I could see Tyson Fury in a Mondeo.
You just imagine that, can't you?
Yeah. I could do with a few spares. I'll give him a shout. You got his number?
Give him a shout, mate. Yeah, give him get in touch.
Yeah, cool. So that'll be a big day. We're gonna meet up for that, aren't we? For the viewing. We're gonna watch.
Hopefully, you can all get some on. We'll go and pick my dad up for it and fetch him over. So he's really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Doesn't really get out that much, really, and. Yeah, we get some bit of food on the go, like from up the road or something. Just get something sorted out. So that'd be really nice to all get together for it. It's a pretty big event, really, when it happens to you, I must admit.
Yeah, I imagine it is.
I just can't wait to get it seen by everybody, really.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how the format goes. So they normally go to the venue where the car is, don't they? And they meet somebody there. So that won't be you. So that'll be Jackie.
That's Jackie, yeah.
Yeah. So Jackie will tell him about the car, and then tell him how you just disowned it because you're just lazy and you just can't be asked to do it. But obviously they'll make it sound more dramatic than that, won't they?
Yeah.
That's it. You'll play the cancer card, won't you? That's what we'll do. But no, I am joking. But it's an awful time that you went through, obviously with yourself and your son, and so they'll touch on that, and which is nice, really, because it's kind of giving something back to somebody, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think the format is really good. Not because I've been on it, because I think that's one thing that drew me to it in the past. Really, I've always liked it, and you just see some. Yeah, it's like anything on the TV. Someone's put silly comments on about, it's so bloody edited or staged or something. But everything's staged on telly. You got to know where you're going with things. It'd be a complete shambles, wouldn't it? But I mean, the actual surprise in what they do, and I've actually experienced it now. So it's just, to yourself, it's just overwhelming when it happens to you, because you're completely unaware what's going on, and suddenly you just hit with this. It does. It really takes you back. Yeah, it really does.
I mean, Andy and I were there for the recording before you turned up, and it was.
What's that? No, sorry, to interrupt you. There's a really strange noise coming on the phone. It's almost like.
Does it sound like it's pissing it down with rain?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me. Is it really loud?
Yeah, it sounds like.
That's like you're doing hoovering.
I'm in the little building at the bottom of the garden. And it's absolutely pissing it down.
It is here, mate. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, that's okay, mate. I thought it was just some bad interference coming again. I thought, yes, I've got the IT man on bad interference.
Yeah, no. I do apologise to everybody who's listening. It is absolutely pissing it down, and I'm not dashing into the house now. I'm going to have to carry on the recording here. It's just absolutely hammering it down. But yeah, so
you can borrow me a canoe if you want, mate.
Say that again, mate.
You can borrow my canoe if you want.
Yes, get in.
We were talking about the format, weren't we? And then they.
Sorry, mate. Yes, the format.
They drag the car away, and then it goes to their workshop. Are they in Warsaw or something like that?
They're in. I think it's Alzoin, I think.
Alzoin, yeah.
Right.
I'm sure it's Alzoin. But it's somewhere around there. Sure it is. Yeah, because I've not...
Go on.
I've not been myself. I mean, Jackie obviously has. So.
But it'd be really interesting, because you've seen the output, but you haven't seen any of the work that's gone on. So you've got no sort of idea of how big a job it was. I mean, I know when you spoke to Fuzz, he said it was a hell of a job. But you can't really put that, you can't visualise that at the moment, can you?
Not at the minute, no. No, I mean, I've had sort of lots of time of doing stuff on my own over the years, but to actually see it go through the process, then no, it's very difficult to get your head around really, and all this happens in such a short time when you're just going about your business, doing what you normally do in the day to day, and then suddenly, bang, it's all back again like that, done. You know, it's like it's just really, really strange feeling.
How long did it take, Darren?
They didn't actually give me a sort of set time in kind of weeks, because they run it with other cars as well. They've got 2 or 3 in at the same time.
Oh, okay.
What is sort of firing through, because they have to send bits. Some bits have to go, an engine may go, like I did on the Mondeo. They took that away, and there's so much, and it's all kind of filmed apparently all in sort of reverse order. They want a bit for later on, and then they put it all together afterwards. So it's all kind of a bit strange, really, how they do it, because it's all got to be done how it works with the filming.
Yeah.
And then it isn't a straightforward restoration what they do, where they can sort of start on something and go through the normal process. Sometimes they have to strip some it down. They get so much done, then they have to put it back on again because they want to film this bit. And so then they have to put it all back on, then take it back off again to carry on with what they were doing. So there's just so much work. And when you find all that out, it's really interesting. But all I actually know about it is what happened on that day, when I got the reveal and I actually got my Rover back. That's all I know about it, the actual programme, in actual viewing it to see it. I've been told, Jackie told me what they did when they went round to the lockup where it's kept and who she spoke to. My brother-in-law was there as well, giving the hand, and he had a chat with them. But other than that, I don't know. I haven't seen anything else. So it's going to be as kind of new to me as it is to everybody else on Thursday, that, you know, yourselves that come round so we can all watch it together, because I haven't seen it. I know what happened in the house, obviously, because nobody else is in there. It's just me, Jackie, and our 2 friends and the TV. So that bit, I know what happened. But other than that, no, I don't know any more than what anybody else does.
Excellent. Wow.
Yeah.
It's going to be... it's going to be fun. I mean, I think we're secretly hoping we get somewhere in the background, don't we, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Yeah.
Well, we're the stars of the show, really, aren't we? So.
I think me and Aid were just amazed that they did it. They did it for because of what you've been through. We were over the moon, weren't we, Aid?
We were, yeah.
Cheers. Cheers, guys. Thanks.
It's just nice, just even if we weren't even to be in any of the show, it would just be nice for you to see it all done.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and brilliant, thanks.
And it's nice because you see it on the telly, but it's actually nice when you know somebody who's actually been through some.
And it's quite strange that is, because when I've watched it before, because I do watch the series, I've always watched it. And I'll watch an episode and they come to do the reveal, and sometimes some people do get choked up. I was really choked up, just the fact that, you know, it was there, and then suddenly everyone come around the corner, and it just sort of takes you back, you know. And like a gibbering wreck, really, on the day. But I often watch it with people, and I said to my wife, I go, well, we don't see more of that sort of like, excited about having his car back. But I think it doesn't hit you. It's like a delayed reaction. You're so shocked by it all, and then suddenly you see people that your family and your friends that you love, and it's suddenly, hold on, what's going? How did you? Yeah, and you kind of give out the impression, the opposite, that you're not really that excited about it. But once you get that filming all finished and the day is done, then it's like hits you later on. And I didn't come down for days. I was on a high for a couple of weeks. After I just get going in the garage, I just got to pop in the garage, go and get something. Have a look,
just to make sure it's still there. And
it's mad.
It was real.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, one of the best days ever. And it's but they ask you the questions. You know why this happened to you, don't you? And you think, well, I know why you've done it, but you never think you kind of deserve it, if that makes sense, because you don't see yourself as special when you've gone through what us 3 have gone through. Do you know what I mean? It's like and someone does something nice for you, and you think, well, yeah, of course I'm always there for my family. It's because I love my family, you know, and despite whatever goes on, you always try to do the best, don't you, as a you know, as a dad, you know, and like as a granddad now. It makes me sound dead old, doesn't it? God. And it's but you do, you know, and it's like, and I mean, someone does something like that for you, you're absolutely over the moon that it's been done, but you don't want to sort of have any, I don't know how to explain it really. It's like, they kept saying, oh, you do understand why this is done for you, don't you? You know, how much you deserve it. But you don't kind of, I don't know about whether this is a normal feeling. You never kind of feel that, oh, well, yeah, I deserve that. That should have happened type of thing. I deserve it, because it's just, I don't know, I was too overwhelmed to really talk to him properly, really, when he sat in the car talking to Tim. Like, all these thoughts are running around my head about, you know, you sort of like it took me back to the early 90s when we was going to the shows and stuff with Ryan in the car, and it just completely, it's like being in a time machine when I sat in that car. But it's like I've just gone back to when I was actually driving it, because there was no getting it ready. Do you know what I mean? When you restore a car yourself, you kind of get them ready, don't you? And you're sort of working on it. Oh, nearly done. Oh, I've just got this bit to do now. Oh, I've really enjoyed building that over the last couple of years. When you go to work one day and you come home next day and the car that's been sat there for 17 years is now been better than it probably left the factory, you think you don't get a chance to get your head around it all.
No.
It's absolutely crazy.
And then you probably look back and you think, oh, why didn't I say that, or why didn't I mention that? But you're just so caught in the moment, I imagine, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot said on the day, a lot of different things done, and you just never know what they're actually going to use, or which order they're going to put in, or how they're going to sort of tag it all together. You know, I mean, sometimes you do a load of talking, and when you watch programs, when you get to that bit you've done lots of talking on, they probably say half a dozen words, and it flicks to something else. Yeah. So you never know what snippets they're going to take out of it, if you know.
Yeah.
But fantastic all the same. So however it comes out, however it looks, I don't care because I've got my car back.
No, that would be cool. And maybe next week we can sort of talk about the experience in more detail, and kind of talk through the episode, really, can't we?
Yes.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be smashing. Yeah, I'd love that.
Cool. Okie dokie. Thank you for that, Darren. That was interesting. That was. Go over to Andy. Andy, how the devil are you, sir? I know you've got your scan results on Wednesday, so we're waiting bated breath for that.
I went for my blood tests today at the cancer place in Stoke, just to see how my platelets are doing, because I'm going to be hopefully starting on Wednesday my chemo. So Thursday will be my second day if my platelets are the right place this time. So yeah. So when I come to see you, it should be my second day of chemo. So I'm not going to be on my full best, but I'll try my best for you, Darren.
Oh, cheers, mate. But I'll say, if anything changes, mate, don't feel bad about not coming there, because we are getting a video of it as well. The editor's going to send us. It's all being done now. We are going to actually get a video we can keep of it, not so it's just not on the telly.
Yes, okay.
So we're going to have that on DVD. So we'll always have something there that we can always just go back to. Well, as long as until DVDs get stuck away. Then it'll be a classic DVD.
I've actually got the Disney Channel, and I looked on there in the week for the series you're on, and it wasn't on there. I'm like,
is it National Geographic now?
It's definitely on, isn't it? And and then I put it in on Sky, and it come up. So I don't know why Disney aren't putting it on theirs.
Yeah, I think it's National
Geographic.
I don't know. I think if you look at some of the trailers, I don't know if it's part of the same organisation. I'm not sure.
No, you don't. A lot of these things get so integrated, don't they? And they own different things and move things about, you know.
Yeah. So, I've got my mum and dad coming over to look after the kids, so I've got it on.
Good of them. Yeah.
So they can watch it when I'm watching it.
So
it should be good.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I'll sort of be there. There's a couple that won't be able to kind of get there anyway. That was there on the day. But so if us three are there, that'll be smashing. That'd be really good.
Excellent.
So I'm glad there as well to it, and to finally get to meet Kelly Names. I've not met them yet.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be really nice for us all to get together.
Get a takeaway as well. Get a bite to eat and sit there and.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. It'll be a real big day, day on the calendar.
Super. Shall we go over to Darren's discussion corner?
Just a couple of little things really. There's not that a great amount going on really. They keep getting like sort of things popping up about the last things we were talking about constantly popping up in papers and magazines and online about the old classic cars being turned into electric vehicles. They're being called things like Frankenstein vehicles and all sorts. There's a lot of people disagreeing all that. The MOT thing kind of died down a bit now.
Yeah,
but I have seen 2 or 3 reports, and two of them have been in magazines. Another one like online about more classic cars are actually registered on the road now, as to what they was going up even far back as like the early 2000s. You know, it's so probably in the last 10 years it has really gone up, and it's gone up as much as 26%, well, just under 30% for some models. Of more of that particular model back on the road being done up.
Now, is that because the classic cars now are more modern? And
I think
so it's better. So they've got more up to date technology. The bodywork is less.
I don't think it is from what I've read, Aid. I think what it is. I mean, a lot of the cars. I've got one paper here, and one of the list of cars in here. They all seem to be. I'm trying to think what the newest one would probably be. The newest one is probably the Stag. Probably all the rest. Oh no, the Cortina. The Cortina. They're on there, but they're probably only 2. The rest of them are kind of like Austins and Morris Minors and Oxfords and PSB Rovers type things. Sunbeam Rapiers, all that sort of stuff. But the highest climbers in this particular paper, believe it or not, I think the reasons are, I think it's to do with the price of a lot of classics. Although there's some record-breaking cars being sold, overall I think the average price of classics has dropped. Right. And I think people are investing the money in the bigger ones, and I think, well, it stops investing in the cars, the mega price cars so much. And I think it's sort of put a lot more money for people to start moving cars around on the sort of £20,000 and under. Whereas like people would buy pretty much anything, they're not now, because it's costing too much for restoration work and stuff like that, and getting parts and everything else. So they're kind of, and then I think the younger people are probably playing an influence in it because they think we'd rather buy something that doesn't need loads doing to it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of pushing it up, and I think it's keeping the price up. Prices have definitely dropped. I mean, one of the biggest increases is the E-Type. So that shows how much that's dropped in value, because it was out of the range of so many people's pockets, weren't it? But yet that's one of the highest climbers in actual figures back on the road in the last 10 years. And I think the other big factor in it was going in COVID. There was a lot of people that was, let's say, had been furloughed, that still had some money coming in, and enormous amount of time, and I think they've spent it doing the cars up that they've been doing in bits in between work. And now, a year after COVID, you suddenly got this surge of cars coming out, I think, that have been done up over the lockdown. And I think that's what's added to a lot of it. That's my personal opinion of it, just on what sort of figures you read and what's been going on and write-ups. And then the other big one, it said last week, it's a big climber in values. My brother's actually got a nice Triumph Stag now, and it turns out to be quite a rare colour he's got as well. It wasn't many made, and he's given it a kind of rolling restoration, more like a refurb really. It was used for filming, and it was not very well looked after, and it's been stood about. But he's slowly doing it all in his garage himself. And now they've shot up as much as an E-Type. They're not far off. Sort of they're heading towards a 30% increase. And there's actually probably 2,000 more on the road now than what it was 10 years ago. So to get all these models coming out with so many more numbers, it's got to have something to give people the time and money to be able to work on them. But it just seems funny how they've all come out in 1 year. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But yeah, and I think a lot of the older ones are still pretty appealing to a lot of younger people because they can pick them ones up cheaper than what you can the newer stuff. Like in the 80s hot hatches, a lot of them are getting out of people's hands, really, aren't they? For someone that wants to start off in the classic world, like, you know, you want to get your first classic, you're not going to go out and buy an XR3i, are you? It's probably going to be too dear for you.
Yeah. I think sometimes the secret of getting a classic is buying it before it's a classic. And you're trying to think, well, if I get this now, then in 5 years' time, I could see this sort of potentially going up in value. And we talked about it last week or the week before. I mean, I can't remember what car you said, Andy, but I said like the Ford Puma and maybe the Ford KA Sport.
Fiesta ST.
Yeah, Fiesta ST. That's right. Yeah, so something like that, you kind of get ahead of the game, really. And if you've got somewhere where you can keep it, or you can keep it ticking over on the road until those values start creeping up, I think that's the real skill, isn't it? I mean, ideally, we'd all have a time machine and we'd go back 20 years and we'd go and buy all the Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escorts, stick it in the barn,
that's right,
and then we'd sell them and we'd all live happily ever after. Because I don't think anybody really thought that, you know, these battered old Escorts that were in the bargain pages of the trader, all of a sudden people would be going absolutely mad for, because they could turn them into rally cars and, you know, retro. What's the word I'm looking for? Where you restore it, it's like a retro modification. But doing up cars like that, I just don't think people really saw that. And yet you've got things like, I don't know, 6-litre Jags going for like $2,000 these days, and you're just thinking, wow, you think a Jag would be big money, but no, it's been outnumbered by a 1.3 Escort Popular because what people can do to it. So I mean, I've driven a Stag actually. It just reminded me.
Have you?
Yeah. It was about. I'm trying to think how long ago it was. It was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. My dad's mate has got a Stag, and he's a member of the Triumph Owners Club, and they did like an annual. I suppose it's called like a road rally where they all get together, and they have like a set route, and you've got to go to checkpoints, and you've got to travel across the country. I think we started off near Milton Keynes, and we went up to Scotland, and then the theory was then to come back down and do that, and you do it over 3 days, but it was non-stop driving. So you would have 2 or 3 of you in the car, and one of you would drive while the other would sleep or navigate, and then you just keep rotating it. And I did it with my dad's mate Tony and his son Simon, and we got as far as Scotland. I think we got to Stirling, and then the viscous fan broke and it came off and went into the radiator and burst the ransom. So we were stuck in Stirling. So it was about 3 recovery trucks later we finally got home. And it sounds glamorous, but it was frigging horrible. I hated it. And I thought I would love it. You know, we met at this lovely sort of stately, well, not like a stately house, but it was like a very nice sort of country venue, and all these old Triumphs are there, and you know, some of them are immaculate, and some of them are held together with masking tape, and you know, people all pull off and they all go racing off together. And you'd think it would be like a convoy, but I don't know what it was. As soon as people hit the motorway, they just drove like lunatics. It was just like, right, go, going as fast as they can, and they were stopping off at certain services to get for a checkpoint, and then you had to be a certain checkpoint by a certain time, and you very quickly you can get fall behind, because we needed a petrol station. We couldn't find a petrol station, so we came off the motorway and we had to go on some A roads, and we got completely lost and all that kind of thing. And the fact that you're driving the whole time. So I think we took it in turns. We do a couple of hours driving, and the other would navigate, another would sleep. But if you've ever tried to sleep in the back of a Triumph Stag, then
I don't think that's really possible, is it?
No, it's not. And I mean, they're not the most watertight vehicles either. And I was the fuel pump was in the back, and I could just hear it going, and I'm like lying there, and the thing's bouncing up and down, and it was just bloody awful, absolutely awful. I mean, I'm glad I did it for the experience, but I would quite happily go for a drive and then go and stay in a travel lodge and have a good night's sleep and have a big breakfast in the morning rather than.
That sounds that. Yeah.
I think when we do our trip, gents, I think we need to do a bit of driving, but also we need a bit of luxury along the way. We need to stop off and
like we had planned a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Even if we have even if we build in a nap as well, that would be nice. I quite like a nap in the afternoon if we could fit that in.
The afternoon nap, yeah.
And he can have his nap in his bucket seats.
Yeah. I just roll the bed out in the back of the rover.
Oh yes, that's a good point. Yeah, just get your bed out. You'll be fine. I see Andy's got a few connection problems, so he's disappeared for a bit.
Oh, has he got to disappear again?
He has, yeah. It's something we've said. I've upset him somehow.
You have, yeah. I think he just keeps dropping his phone himself.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking a bit earlier, Darren, before we came on air. Well, that sounds good, doesn't it? It came on air. But you were talking about these sort of road trips, weren't you?
Yeah. It's sorry, that was part of my discussion. We got a little bit mislaid there. So is he back with us yet?
Yeah, I'm back now. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's good. Just while you disappeared to a short time, me and Ave just talking. It's another little bit of a topic, really. There's loads. When you get to March time, you get inundated with adverts for these pre-organised road trips and tours. And it was just an opinion, really, from you both. Do you think they're a good idea, bad idea, good value for money? Because they can be quite expensive. Really, you can go a 3 or 4 night one for £400 or £500, and it basically goes to it's a nice area, but pre-booked, and they're kind of in either B&Bs or little hotels, and they might chuck a little bit of a tour into a bit of a national park or something like that. All things you could pretty easily kind of organise yourself if you get together. And I just wonder what your opinions of it were, really, or anyone else that's listening, what they think of them.
Right.
I mean, have you ever been on one, Andy? Those
I've never been on one, no. But I mean, it's no different than us three saying we'll meet up and we'll, you can plan to go to bed and breakfast and say you'll go there, and there, and order them, and it's going to cost you bare minimum, and you do the driving yourself.
Because I was saying this, I was just thinking, is it an older generation that sort of book a lot of these because they don't want them either, or don't have to look for a cheaper way because they decide, I just want to get in my car, drive it there, right, where are we going now? And they're all sort of like waited on and everything's mapped out for them to save them the legwork, perhaps. I don't really know. So I've never been on one, so I don't know what the age group is, the main sort of age group that go for them.
Right.
And I've not known anyone that's ever done one, to be honest.
I mean, I quite like. We got together. Was it 2 years ago? Something called COVID. Something called COVID came along, didn't it? I can't remember much about it.
Yeah, and it put a stop to it, didn't it?
Yeah, it pissed on our bonfire, basically, didn't it? But we had the idea of us getting together, and we'd got 3 other friends as well. And we were going to do exactly that, and we did. We had an evening at our friend John's house, and we got some nice food in, and we had some nice drink, and we got the big map out on the table, didn't we? We got the map of the UK, and I'd done a bit of research beforehand, so I'd had a look for some well-renowned driving roads in the UK, and I plotted those on a map, and then from that we just came up with our own route, really, didn't we?
Yeah, we just went all the way around it, changed a few routes and different suggestions on it. And that was the first time I'd met like John and Phil. So for me, it was a good way, because we were planning on doing this trip for sort of 3 nights out together. So it was a real good way to get to meet people and have a good laugh with them before you actually went out on it and did that trip. Whereas I think if you just sort of book it somewhere, you can go on this trip and there could be another sort of 20 cars with you, and I thought, well, how well are you going to
get to know the other people.
Really get to know them people, and once you finish the trip, that's it. You probably wouldn't ever see them again. Whereas you do it with a group of people you know, or some friends like ourselves, and it's an experience on its own, just going through it, because it's a laugh, isn't it? Setting it out on the map.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had some. Oh, it was hysterical at some bits. I was just kidding myself laughing. I was.
Well,
some of the comments people said about different roads and what they can be wearing because of the weather and
yeah, because you get you together, and then somebody will go, "Oh, I've been down that road. That's a good road," or "Oh no, we want to avoid that.
Yeah,
it's bloody awful."
Yeah.
And you'll be like, "Okay, right, we'll miss that bit out, and then we'll go down here." And then you find some names of silly British towns and villages, and you think, "Oh, we've got to go there because that'll look funny on the photo," you know. So we've got to stand next to Cock Road or whatever it is, and that kind of thing. And that sort of adds to the fun. And then you think you can kind of plan, because I think we were very careful that we did some driving, but we didn't do too much driving, and we tied it in so we'd sort of say, okay, we'd probably in a couple of hours we'd probably get this far, so that's where we'd need somewhere around here for lunch. Well, that looks quite a nice area, so we'll drive there. And then we'd probably want to do another 2 or 3 hours driving, and then we'd want to stop off at a hotel. So we'd then go, right, so where would that hotel roughly be at that point? So it would be here. That was all part of the fun, really. And then I think Phil went off and he organised the hotels. And I mean, things like a travel lodging, you could pick them up quite cheap. And I think we were going to share rooms, so that keeps the cost down. And it was really, really good fun, and it was nice to be with sort of like-minded people who wanted the exact same thing, didn't they? They wanted to go for a drive, but at the same time they wanted a good night's sleep and have a shower and be fresh in the morning. And then tootle off. I mean, I struggle a bit with some with car groups, because I used to be in the Manta Owners Club. And I kind of found out that there was kind of three lots of people. You had the people who heavily modified the cars. You had the people who just loved them as everyday runarounds. And then you had the people who thought they were all had to be original OEM, all that kind of thing. And I think some clubs can be quite cliquey. And I just wonder if sometimes the driving clubs can be a bit that way as well. And
imagine they would be, Aid.
Yeah, I'm only speculating, but I just wonder if there might be little cliques, and you might. Whereas if you do it yourself with a group of mates, there's no sort of barriers. Then it might be sort of okay. Well, I can only do 2 hours a day. All right. Well, we'll do this route instead, or my car's not very good at those roads. Okay, so we'll avoid that, and you can very much tailor it, and it could be a lot more fun, but. Maybe you're paying for the time and effort that somebody's taking to go, oh yeah, but then but I suppose if you're doing it for groups, then there must be like insurances, mustn't there? And
I thought so. Yeah. Because there is going to be a lot of hidden costs, and I was just thinking, well, it isn't that difficult if you're going to, it's just like if you're going to go somewhere for a day on your own. And you're going to go with a few friends, you're going to go for a few days, you just spend a little bit more time at the table, don't you, in deciding what you all want to do. Yeah. And it's an event on its own, all getting together.
Yeah.
I think, what are we doing this Saturday? We'll get my so-and-so's house, we're all going to have food. We organised the last one at yours, so we come round yours this time. And there's food and drink on, and you're having a bit of a laugh while you're doing it. And you're kind of really looking forward to it then, because you're going with, like, really close personal friends, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's an adventure.
Rather than going on a trip with people you do not know as well. I don't know. I personally, the organised ones don't do anything for me.
No, I can see the appeal though if you're probably a bit older and you're maybe not part of those groups and you just want to go for a drive and you meet, if you're in the E-Type Owners Club and you all go for a drive around wherever or whatever.
Yeah.
And that can be quite nice for certain people. But yeah, I suppose it's horses for courses. It's not the sort of thing I'd be spending money on. I wouldn't want to spend that sort of money when I'm thinking, like you said, Darren, I'd quite happily get a paper map out and go and search on the internet, find a few routes and just say, should we go this way? Yeah, that'll do. And what if there's roadworks? Oh, well, we'll just go around it and we'll go somewhere else. And Whereas if you've got a big group of, I don't know, 50, 60 cars, then if one gets left behind, what do they do? And then you've got to find a venue where all those cars can then park for the night. And then I suppose you've got people saying, well, my car's worth this amount of money and I want it put
away. You're going to get all sorts. Yeah. So it's a bit of a funny one, really. Anyway, but I say for me, no, I like you say, I can see why people probably would do them. They might all not be as fortunate enough to have the sort of banter that we have, or people that we know. You know, there might be a bit more kind of just them on their own sort of thing. You know, or as a couple, and we can go on this tour, go on this trip, and we just meet up. We get there when we get there, sort of thing at the next stop. You know.
Yeah.
But they just want to know where they're going. They don't want to plan it out themselves, maybe. So yeah, I do get that part of it. So I thought it'd be just interesting to find out what your opinions of it were as well.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke to Ethan, didn't we, a few weeks back, and he did a road trip when he on the Car Throttle channel.
Yeah.
And they just picked 3 £500 bangers, and they just went round round Scotland. I think it's the 500 they call it, don't they? Where they go around the sort of the Scottish coast.
Yeah.
And it looked like they had an absolutely great time, and they would have planned it, but it didn't seem as though it was heavily structured, if you like. They just seemed to go and have fun along the way, and it just shows that it doesn't matter what car you're in, as long as you're with your mates, then that makes the trip, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's what it's about. It's about driving and being with people that you get on with, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And just with the car out there.
Yeah, and I think that's what we'd like to do later this year, isn't it? When Andy's got his license back and Andy's back out on the road. I mean, that would just
definitely. Yeah,
we could have the Cars and Cancer cruise.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go. Perfect title.
Yeah, the C&C cruise, and we could get the chaps and see if they want to do it this year, and we could revisit that route. And I think that'd be lovely just to get out there. My car should be done. You know, you'll have you can go in your Jag or your Rover. Andy will have the Nova going, and I think that'd be nice. It gives you something to look forward to, something to work towards, and maybe we should reach out to them and see if they want to, they'd be keen on doing it, and we can go out there. And if not, the three of us can do it. That'll be just as nice. I think.
Yeah. I'm definitely up for it again to get it sorted. Yeah. So see what the other lads want to do. If they want to come and join us, like on our one this time.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit more in there, like, and then do it again.
It'd be all right with just us three, wouldn't it? And then use the other one for another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can do, mate. Yeah, that's an alternative, matey. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you've got one that can tow yours, Andy, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, yours can tow mine, can't it, Aid? 4x4.
Yeah, that's it.
You have to tow it, won't you?
4-wheel driving, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be able to tow you, but I mean, Darren will be fast asleep in the back of his because he'll have his mattress in his, so he'll be fast asleep. But I could tow you.
Oh, it depends when we plan the trip, mate. If we're going to go in the summer, I should have the roof down.
Right. Can you get your canoe in the back of there and your mattress?
Can you get what in the back there, mate?
Your canoe and your mattress.
No, I'm going to have to get one of those special little carriers for the canoe.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, I could put it in there. It'd be a bit tight, really. Wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be just
that might be a bit tight, that would. So I put that in there, and then I wouldn't have anywhere to put in the plug-in telly, would I?
No. We need a plug-in telly, don't we?
Yeah, I've got to get my telly. Yeah. Got to keep it retro.
Yeah. Is it going to be a black and white one with the sort of the Kotanga aerials? Is it one of those?
Yeah, that's it.
I think that.
I don't know about. Oh yeah. Oh no, that's not one of those. No, that's got a proper aerial.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah, it's proper aerial, mate. Yeah.
Okay. I stand corrected.
No expense spared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously. It's a broken car aerial.
Sounds like something off Only Fools and Horses with Del Boy with his Capri or something like that.
Yeah. Good, I'll do that. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a road trip would be great. I think even if we just did a one-nighter to start with, and just to see how the cars
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Let's see if we can get something sorted. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think so. That would be great. That would.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think we're probably coming to a close this evening.
Yeah.
So just to recap, then, big day on Thursday, so we'll all get together on that, and I think after that we can start showing people some of the photos and videos and things that we've captured from the Car SOS day of recording. That's
absolutely fabulous. I think. Really.
Yeah, that's going to be something special. Obviously, you're best mates with Fuzz now, aren't you? So you're gonna get Fuzz on here, are you, Darren? Give him a nudge.
I am actually, yeah. We have spoken to him a bit near it was a little while ago, back around the sort of the reveal time, and we've got his number, we've got his mobile, and we've got Elliot's and like the production team, so we've got them. So any problems we can get in touch. So they've already sort of just come in the conversation. I've already reached out in a way, and he's already said just give him a ring, let him know what you'd like him to do, and he'd be more than happy to come on and have a chat with us.
Oh, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
I thought that was great. Yeah.
He just seemed a really nice chap. I mean, he was obviously very busy with the recording and stuff, but when we did get to and the same with Tim as well. They were just
Tim,
really nice, really approachable guys.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we'll touch on it more next week when we go into it, but it'd be lovely to have.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll get in touch. Well, I'll get Jackie to get in touch with Elliot, and have a chat with him. Because there might even be something that he might fancy doing a little bit of something from the filming side of things. We can chat with him back, because he's got such a big part in the program.
Yeah.
I'll see if he's allowed to do it because they're very tight, these sort of copyright things, aren't they, and what they can say. But it's only about his personal job, really, what we'll be discussing about how cause he works away a lot when he's filming. He's only home at weekends and things like that, so he don't see his partner very often. There's a lot to talk about with him on it, but I'll get Jack to see if I can just have a chat with him, because he does message from time to time, And Jack say, Elliot's just messaged and said, how are you getting on with the rover? You've been out in it, and blah, 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 and what you're doing, things like that. So, he's kept in touch.
That's nice. That's really good.
Todd just said, just let him know, and then hopefully we get something sorted, and he might be able to do some kind of bit of a live chat on it, so he can be seen as well.
Yeah.
So he said he'd be more than happy to jump on board and help us out.
Oh, top man.
With some work in there. So I thought that was a really nice gesture, really. That was very good.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's returning your calls. I mean, I wouldn't. There you go. Oh God, it's that bloke with the rover again. What's he want now?
I'll have you back one day, don't you worry.
Yeah, that's it. Fuzz, this switch doesn't work, and when I put it in reverse, it makes a whining noise. Yeah, I'd be like, I'll just clear off. There's no warranty. Clear off.
What are you talking about now? You've lost me there. I've lost that, mate. What are you on about then? What switch? I've missed something then, didn't I? Was you not concentrating again?
No, you're not concentrating. I was just saying, if he'd got your number, I wouldn't answer the phone if you rang, because you'd be complaining that one of the switches wasn't working or the gearbox was whining. You'd be like, no warranty, sold as seen. It's your car now, not my problem. No, that'll be good. So it'll be the big Car SOS episode next week, and we'll go through that in more detail. And hopefully some of the viewers have had a chance to see it themselves, and they'll know what we're talking about. But it just leaves me to say, oh, is that your doorbell, Darren?
No, mate, that's my other phone. That is.
Oh, okay. Oh, you are popular.
Yeah, I've got two friends now.
Right. Okay. And on that bombshell.
Okay.
Have a pleasant week, gentlemen. Well, I'm not saying week because I'll see you Thursday.
See you Thursday.
Yeah, I'll see you Thursday.
Yeah.
and we'll go and grab a Chinese takeaway or whatever it is, and
and
we'll have
Chinese or chicken, whatever you want to do it.
Super. Yeah, sounds smashing. Have a good one.
Lovely,
hope the chemo goes all right, Andy.
Yes. Yeah. And your visit, when you see your consultant on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're thinking of you, mate. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll speak to you a bit later in the week.
Yeah.
All right.
See you later.
See you both later, gents. Take care.
Okay then, guys. Thank you. Thanks everyone for listening as well.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.